masai bakiane ajidu te nena lo tu kashir dua ka tiang hun so ti no hun pe wa ni ma tu so dua zon ke bo se lai kan mi zo tong ye sa tong ye tong non ni kan ni dua ma se do bon te na shet kam lo ka ha wa ngin gaming sa tong kan stong ka nga ma se video the image gaming ka la so shet kam so some okay, so for those who didn't know, I'm not going to take a long time, but I went on a mission trip to Ethiopia, which is a country in Africa, from June 27th to July 6th. And I went with a church in Jacksonville, Florida called My Inspire. We did different things, like we visited the local schools there, and we also went around to the local houses and we prayed with them, we talked with them, we preached the gospel and stuff like that to families who didn't know Jesus. And then we also had like a children's camp, similar to the ones we have here in America. We had, it was with kids around the ages of 5 and 18. And then we did all the touring, like we visited the city, we got to eat the traditional foods, and yeah, those sort of things. So I just wanted to share a couple of videos. Oh, okay. And so this is like the school that one of the schools that we visited. It's called Destiny School, and it's one of the older buildings. So it was yeah, it's definitely older, but this that was one of the schools, and then this is one of the classrooms in the school. It's very colorful, but as you can see, the chairs are quite old and run down. But this is one of the classrooms that we went into, and then okay, that's it. So that's one of the elementary schools. We did visit a middle school, but I didn't add pictures. But I just wanted to show elementary school since I think many of us we all went to elementary school, so I just wanted to show that. Now, this right here is a house visit we went to. It was grandpa who was sick, and we went to go pray for him. And so this is like going into the village. So as you can see, these are the individual kind of houses and things that we went and saw. And so yeah. Then we went in, and that's where his room was. His bedroom was in there, and so we went in there. We talked with him, and then we went and talked with him and all that, that sort of stuff. And then, last but not least, the actual camp that we held. So this is one of our camps that we held. This is with the smaller group of kids. This is only 50 kids. So we did like a whole, we sat them down, we taught them, we sang songs with them. We did teachings using the story of Jonah. We talked about how God rescued Jonah, how God was loyal to Jonah, and all that type of stuff. And then we also did various activities with them as well. There was a certain room where they did like coloring, and for them, for us, coloring pages may not be like anything crazy, but for them, this is like the first time, so they had a lot of fun with that as well. And then another day, on Wednesday, we also have another one. This one was with more kids, around 100 kids. And, oh, okay. Alright, and that's with another group of kids. And then outside, we did more arts and crafts. They got to make necklaces and stuff like that. They got to make necklaces and that sort of thing. And yeah, so now I kind of want to go into more of the what I learned and what I really want you guys to also understand. Because a lot of us who were born here in America or we were raised here. This right here is a picture of a dumpster. So these are hills and mountains of trash. It's the city's local dump. And if you can look closely, there are people up there trying to find food and stuff. You can see animals and birds up there. Many of the people that lived here, they live off of this dump. So they go here, they find stuff to eat or they find stuff to sell, and this is basically what they live off of. And so as we were walking past, it was very horrific to see there's people up there and they find that kind of stuff. And the smell also, if you even just walking there, it just smelled horrible. And so the conditions here, I just really want us to also compare that to our lives, how grateful we should be that we aren't kind of living in this kind of condition. And so yeah, I just wanted to make that known as well. And then so that's it for the pictures. But personal things that I want you guys to understand is, like I said earlier, we went on a lot of house visits, and a lot of the house visits were women, because a lot of the time the husbands go out and they work. But for the women that we visited, a lot of them went through a lot of abuse and mistreatment. So I want to talk about one woman in particular that I think touched my heart the most. Was she went through abuse from her ex-husband. Her ex-husband was very abusive to her and beat her multiple times, her and her son. And when she was explaining her story to us, she like fought back tears, explaining that she's been trying to get out of it, but you know, it's just like a big thing because women in Ethiopia are not looked up on, so it was really hard for her as well. She showed us the pictures and evidence she used for the police to see, and it was just, you could see everything. It wasn't just bruises, it was like deep wounds and stuff like that. And what touched me the most, and I think that we should also all learn, is that her faith was so strong. She said, and mind you, this is a marriage. She went through this marriage and she just divorced this man. And she says that even through all of that time, she trusted in God and she never let go of that faith that she held. And now till this day, she says that she's still able to find that hope in God because she held on to her faith. And she said it's the Christians and the Christians that came and helped her. It was never everyone else, it was always the Christians that came and talked to her and helped her out. So I think that for us girls as well, how thankful we should be that we live in a country where we're like, this type of stuff isn't so like looked down on. Because in other countries, I'm sure, and this is very, very true, that in other countries, it's 100 times worse. The persecution in other countries is 100 times worse, not just to women, but to Christians, to other religions. So that's something I want us to also think about as well. And then, like I said, I just showed you guys the conditions, but many of the kids that I showed you guys in the videos, they are homeless kids. They are kids that live off the streets, so they don't have homes. Many of them came just because their friends and stuff told them to. A lot of them live off of the streets and are fed by the locals. They don't have a mom or a dad. So I want us to also be thankful about that, is the fact that we have a place to call home, and the fact that we have food to eat, and that we still have a mom and dad to call mom and dad. And so, yeah, that's something I want us to also look at as well. And then another thing, we just saw school also, and I think that as school's starting, I want us to also recognize something that's a lot of the time when we start going into school, we complain a lot about how annoying and how useless school is sometimes. And I know that school can be really hard, and I understand that as well. But going to Ethiopia and actually seeing children my age and younger and older not be able to go to school, it just made me really understand that it's not like, we should be more grateful that we have access to such a good school program. And I think that that's something we all should understand as we're going into school, since school's starting as well. And then, last but not least, I just want to share one Bible verse and then I'll kind of wrap it up. But it's Proverbs 19:17. It says, "He who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay them back what he has given." In the Bible, from the Old Testament to the New Testament, it is very, very adamant that Jesus never looked down on the poor. It's very obvious in the Old Testament and the New Testament. In the Old Testament, in the New Testament as well, Jesus' disciples were those of low class. The people he healed were homeless people on the street. Many of them did not have homes and were looked down on. So one thing I also want us to understand is that for Jesus, for God, it was never about the status. He never looked at the status. He never looked at how rich you are, how famous you are at school. He never looked at any of that. He looks at the heart. So the next time, we might go to school, we might see a kid in our school who was wearing like off-brand stuff, or he maybe doesn't look like he took a good shower. I really want us to not jump to conclusions, and this is something we should all learn. I think I should learn this, I think we should all learn this, but we shouldn't jump to conclusions when we see someone that may look like they're in a lower class than us, because one thing to know is to humble ourselves and understand that our parents also did not come from a rich background, so we can't really be making fun of other kids our age who are in that same situation. So that's something I also want us to understand and take away from this. And that's really, those three things is all I really wanted to say. To never look down on poor people or people with low class, to always have a gratitude heart, knowing that there's kids your age who want the same opportunities that you have that are never going to get it because of the place they live in. And then to also just preach the gospel and sit down and talk to people, because that's all it is. when we went to our thing, we didn't do nothing crazy. Like yes, we went out as missions, but we didn't go in there, have a whole crusade with them. We simply talked to them, we sat down with them, and we told them about our testimonies. They shared theirs, and we told them about the Word of God. It was as simple as that. And that's something we can all do. That's not something you need to be a rawngbawl to do. So that's something I feel like we should learn as well. That's basically it. And yeah, Patianin kan host and Lubak and Table and Lubak Kantilung and so because you're so Anya. So it's not so kind rawngbawl he can hear either. Me, hey, Patian to shit, he rawngbawl can hear either. Me and can shut them or can soon go more than the top. We the way more to pop, Patian show and them to. I second people also Vakoma, Babiaka. And but here to Shilla, it's simple though what it is. You go to missionary crusade and Kaka Milo. Kaka Katsi, Katimo, Dolly, so the Tiani, Adoni, and the Don, Blackboard, Alipay, Kaka, the Shatter doing ya. Coming Batum, where Tater would see the word long to Suizan share there. Me go maybe a Tian Tush, Kaka, Kabatum, Kak Gama, Tunkashua, Kala, Kazir, so Anya. I honestly really recommend this if any of you are interested in this type of thing. I didn't go because I wanted to be a missionary. It's more so I wanted to experience it. And so if any of you, if it's just simply experiencing and you want to get that, you can always talk to the pastors because they have access to these type of things. So yeah, that's when I feel so you don't yeah. When I feel so I tell them they will be so in. What about that? I don't know.